The myth of age and innovation. Fast-paced of famous older scientists, Einstein in his later years, good enough winning the Nobel at 97, then a sudden cut to a screenshot of the Nature article headline, early career researchers do more disruptive science than veterans. According to the world's most prestigious science journal, if you are getting older, your days of making disruptive scientific discoveries are basically over. Recently, Nature published a news article analyzing millions of papers. Their conclusion? Young scientists are the ones producing disruptive scientific breakthroughs. Meanwhile, as researchers age, they supposedly suffer from a nostalgia effect, sticking to old literature, becoming conservative, and ultimately hindering scientific progress. The Nature article's suggestions support young scholars and rethink retirement systems. Nature even went as far as suggesting we need to redirect support to youth and completely rethink the academic retirement system to get the old folks out of the way. To the general public, this narrative sounds exciting. Young, bold disruptors tearing down the old establishment. But if you actually understand how deep scientific innovation works, you will realize this Nature article is pushing a fundamentally flawed and dangerous idea. Debunking the myth, cognition over youth. Innovation is not about age. Here is the truth: age and innovation only have a superficial, literal connection. True, disruptive innovation does not happen because you are young, ignorant, and boldly breaking rules you don't understand. Essentially, to make an important innovation, your theoretical or logical cognition must surpass your contemporaries. Comparing a shallow puddle, blind experimentation, to a deep ocean trench, theoretical cognition. Innovation is about accumulated knowledge, profound vision, and theoretical depth. You cannot achieve a breakthrough by knowing nothing and just relying on youthful ignorance. So why does Nature think young people are more disruptive? Because the current academic system suffers from a massive delusion about what scientific research actually is. They operate on the false belief that simply doing experiments equals doing scientific research. They think if you put enough energetic people in a lab to mix random chemicals together, eventually, like a blind cat catching a dead mouse, they will stumble upon an innovation. The alchemy crisis, 95% garbage. This leads us to the dark reality of modern academia. Because the system rewards this blind, trial-and-error experimentation, we are facing an alchemy crisis. This is exactly why over 95% of top-tier SCI papers published today are, quite frankly, academic garbage. The delusion of innovation and why 95% of papers are garbage. Researchers are constantly churning out new materials without any underlying theoretical understanding. They change one variable, record the experimental data, force-fit it into an old theory, and call it a breakthrough. But compiling experimental data without deriving deep, new theoretical insights is not science. It is data collection. It is alchemy. True innovation isn't found by randomly testing thousands of variables in a lab. It is found by sitting down and fundamentally rethinking the theoretical framework. And that takes time, logic, and deep expertise, things that often come with, you guessed it, age and experience. The hypocrisy of top journals. The Nature logo appears next to a stamp that says hypocrisy. And this brings us to the ultimate hypocrisy. Top-tier journals like Nature are the primary enablers of this garbage science pandemic, yet they refuse to take responsibility. Instead, Nature constantly self-promotes and tries to control the narrative. When faced with the undeniable crisis of fake innovation, reproducibility issues, and manipulated data, these journals often brush it off. They publish editorials claiming that scientific fraud and bad science are just isolated problems caused by a few bad apples. Let's be real. For Nature to publish an article claiming that their peer review system is solid and fraud is rare, while simultaneously filling their journal with theoretically shallow, alchemy-style papers, is a massive slap in their own face. The delusion of innovation is real. We don't need to push out veteran scientists just because they are old. We need to push out the publish or perish culture that rewards blind experimentation over deep, logical scrutiny. If you want to dive deeper into this topic and read the full breakdown of why 95% of papers are garbage, check out the incredible articles linked in the description below. What do you think? Does age matter in science, or is theoretical depth the only thing that counts? Let me know in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more truths about the scientific world. See you next time.